Hello everyone, how you doing today? You're welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a very important video because it literally just happened to my family. Like, we're literally just coming out of the situation. From the title of the video you can already tell what the video is about, but I just wanted to come and talk about everything that happened, and then give you like a few tips on things to do before you hire a domestic staff. And before I go on, sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Lola. You're welcome again to my channel. Before I go on, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, come on, you guys. What are you waiting for? 79 of you, thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your support. But the rest of you, yeah, hit that subscribe button. Let's make this family even bigger. So let's get into the story. So what happened was, my husband hired an agent to help him get the services of a driver. And usually when you get an agent, what they do is they do all the background check for you. That's basically the job of an agent. They do all the background checks, they get all the guarantors, they do all that stuff for you, and all you have to do is interview the guy. Once you guys are on the same page with payment and everything, you hire the person. So basically that was what happened. My husband got the agent, and the agent got him the driver, and he interviewed the guy. He asked for his CV, he went through it, the interview that he was supposed to do, he did. My son wants to breastfeed. Jola, can you give me like 5 to 10 minutes, please? Please. So he interviewed the guy, and long story short, he hired the guy. 2 weeks into the job, on a Tuesday morning, he dropped my husband at work. And usually what happens is, when my husband when he drops him off, maybe sometime in the afternoon, if he needs to go for a meeting outside the office, or if he wants him to buy him food or those kinds of things, he'll call him and all that. But for some reason that day, he didn't even call him to do anything. So as soon as he dropped him, he went upstairs to his own office. And then when it was time to go home, he came downstairs and he didn't see the car, he didn't see the driver. So at his job, they have like most workplaces, they have the chief security officers, and they are even a little bit sophisticated, that they clock in every car and clock them out. So they knew what time the guy drove in and what time he drove out. So apparently he dropped my husband at like say 8:20, and he drove out at like 8:40. So literally few minutes after I dropped him, he drove off. So he started calling his number, couldn't reach him. It was just clear that the guy had stolen the car. So he left the car, and my husband called up the agent and started calling people, went to report at the police station, started telling people. Thankfully he had his passport photograph, which he got somehow. Like, he wasn't supposed to hold the passport. I'm sure the guy didn't think he had his passport photograph, but he did, because he was supposed to do something like an official card for him with his passport photograph. But my husband told him to work for a while, maybe like a month, to be comfortable with him before he would do a card, like an ID card, like a driver's ID card for him. So the day he brought his passport photograph to do the ID card, he left them just laying in the car, and my husband picked one of it. So that was how he got his passport photograph. I'm saying that for a reason. So we put word out. Friends and family, some friends that are journalists, helped us put out his picture, information about the car and everything on social media, all over Twitter, Instagram, and blah blah blah, Facebook. And people were aware. This was last week Tuesday. Today is Friday. This was last week Tuesday. So obviously like I said, word was out there, and I guess people were on the look. And that just tells you the power of social media. Like, social media is so powerful. So we, continue to just pray and hope, and it was really devastating. For not really devastating, like I don't want to say I wasn't too down. It was a shock. At first, everybody was like, don't worry, maybe he went somewhere and police held him down, or last man held him down, or, maybe he just couldn't make it back that day. Wait until tomorrow, he'll be back. And I kind of, was thinking that way as well, until my husband started to tell me some things that the boy had, said to him jokingly before. And then I realized that this boy, this guy is probably a thief. So you're featuring in the video. So where was I? So yeah, police started their investigation, although they didn't start immediately, because they had to make sure that there was no accident. It wasn't like the guy had had an accident somewhere and died, or he was also robbed. Maybe he was also robbed, and just to make sure that that part of the whole equation was clear. And then some days after we had reported the case, they started their investigation and things like that. So literally a week after it happened, like this week Tuesday, it happened last week Tuesday, this week Tuesday, my husband gets a phone call from Port Harcourt, and the phone call says that they have seen this car in an estate. The car has been parked for a few days, and some guys came to pick up the car and drive it out of the estate. So they stopped them and started to question them, and then they realized that it was this guy, Diola. And then they realized that it was this guy. So they called my husband. They had already alerted Port Harcourt police, so police came, and the guy was with police in Port Harcourt. So police from Lagos, my husband went to the police station where he had reported the case. They got 2 officers to go to Port Harcourt and drive the car down with the guy, and so he's been apprehended. He's going to be charged to court today, and we have the car back. So that's just the power of social media, and that's basically the story. So the most important part of this video is like the tips that I want to give you, some things that I think everyone should take note of when you're trying to hire a domestic staff, either a driver or like a help, or any kind of staff that will be working with you with your family and everything. Because sincerely, that guy could have done anything. He could have what if it was just myself and my son he was driving and just drove us off somewhere, kidnapped us, or something like that. It could have been anything. Things happen, and we hear all these stories, and they seem like they're so far off, but it could happen to anybody. And we just thank God for life and everything. So the tips that I would give, number one thing is to pray. Like, it will kind of emphasize the power of prayer, regardless of whatever religion or whatever belief you have. Pray about these things. You have to pray, commit them to God's hand, ask God to help you pick the right person, to bring you with people that would be of value to you, and you be of value to them. Helpers or destiny. Pray and pray, and let your spirit be alert, and let your heart be at peace with whoever you decide to get. The other thing, number 2, is to get an agent. It's better to use an agent to get these people, because most times an agent may have worked with this person with different other clients, so they probably have more experience with the person, they have more information about the person. So generally, if you have an agent, it cuts down a lot of the work, although I still recommend that you do some work, which I'm going to talk about. So number 2 is to make sure that that person has 2 guarantors. Usually with an agent would give you 2 guarantors that the person provided. And the guarantors, if you want to go the extra mile, I recommend that you do this. You make sure that guarantors, you see the guarantors passport photograph, they sign, you have their address, their phone number, you speak with them over if you cannot go to wherever they live and see them in person, speak to them over the phone and request for a video recording of them guaranteeing that stuff. So I sincerely recommend that you check out the guarantors yourself. Whoever this person has provided, like this guy who stole my husband's car, the 2 guarantors. First of all, I didn't even tell you the part that the agent didn't really do his homework. He didn't really do what he was supposed to do. He hadn't even verified the guarantors, because the guarantors that the guy provided were just 2 random driver guys that he had probably worked with. Maybe they were friends or whatever. They weren't very, very strong guarantors. So usually I think your guarantors have to be kind of, if they're not related to you, they should be able to guarantee you and say, I know this person is trustworthy, you can trust this person with your property, and all those kinds of stuff. So let the guarantors do a video recording saying that you have their address, the address is verified, that they actually live there, their phone numbers, their contact details, all those things. Because if anything like this happens, in the event that you don't find the person like we did, or the police is not able to find the person, you can hold those guarantors responsible. And once they are held responsible, they will search out the guy, and the guy will come out from somewhere, wherever. Sadly, that's what happens when you're a guarantor. So if you decide to be someone's guarantor, be very sure of what you are guaranteeing. So sorry for all these interruptions, but yeah, I really need to put out this video. So the third thing, the fourth thing that I'll say is, make sure you match the person's CV and their make sure you match their CV and request for their bank statement. So match their CV to their bank statement. So if the person says, in the last 2 years I was working in Abuja, collect their bank statement, check the last 2 years and say, check which location they were withdrawing from at the ATM or in the bank, because all those the other information is usually on the bank statement. You see the location, the ATM. You would even see people, what he uses most of his funds for. If he sends it to a particular person, you can find out, who is this person? Is this person your wife? Is this person your parent or whatever? So you can tell the person's movement, you can tell their activities through their bank statement and verify if what they're saying on their CV is actually correct. Because if like this guy said, he worked in Port Harcourt sometime, maybe like 2-3 years ago. If we had done our homework very well and checked his bank statement, we would have seen if that was totally true. I think so. That really does tell you a lot. You have to do a lot of so you have to do a lot of that sort of investigation on your own. Don't depend on your agent to do it, because the agent will tell you they've done it, but they may have like 10 other stuff that they are trying to work on, and they won't even have time to dedicate to doing that for you. So it's best to do it by yourself. If the person says, I don't have money to print out my statement, please give them the money, let them go and print it out. Check their statement. What have they been spending on? Who do they send money to most? What locations have they been at? So you know where exactly this person has been. You would even see incoming funds, like if they're into some kind of dubious whatever, where is money coming from, what's the highest amount of money that have entered this account, and things like that. So the other thing is a health check. Now this one, most of the time for drivers, I don't think they really do it, but I know for house, like domestic staff in the house, like helps, they'll do a health check. Most hospitals have like a list that they do, like a list of stuff that they check for. They'll do a blood test, check for HIV, hepatitis B, any kind of disease or infection that could be transmittable or whatever, or even if it's just malaria, at least the person knows that they have malaria in their body and they can treat themselves. So the same day that we found out that this guy stole the car, that same day I was supposed to get help, but after they did her health check, we found out that she had hepatitis B. So I was literally still trying to process that, and I was just like, oh my god, you know, I was still trying to deal with that, and then the whole car situation happened. So right now I'm just like, you know, I'm done. I'm going to take care of my stuff myself. If it takes me 5 days of the week before I can mop my whole house, although I have someone who comes to clean every weekend. And she's been great. I've had her for over a year, or almost 2 years. Yeah, almost 2 years now. Yeah, and she's been really good. So I'm good with that. Like for now, I'm done with helps for now. Help to drivers or whatever. Like I just want to really chill and just, you know, get all this stuff off of my system. Anyway, so yeah. What other tip? So those are the tips that I have, you know, apart from your normal interview and everything. I think it's really important to get to know, you know, the person's movement, and the account statements will tell you that. Of course, there are other things that you can, other ways that you can, you know, discuss with the person, and they would, you know, spill things that they probably didn't want you to know, and from there you can tell, okay, is this person genuine, is this person dubious, is this person this, or is this person that? So yeah, I think those are the tips that I have. So we recovered the car. The guy has been charged to court, although I don't know what, you know, the sentence is, whatever, you know, his punishment is, I don't know, but yeah, that's happened. So our car information, everything is all on the internet. So we're definitely selling off the car, and yeah. So if you see if you see the car anywhere, it's no more with us. It's been sold. Yeah, because that's just like too much information, too much exposure. This world, you don't know who's out there. You don't know who is watching. You don't know who is planning. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've learned something from this video, and I pray that nobody experiences this, because we've spent a lot of money, unplanned spending, you know. But yeah, we thank God for everything. We thank God for life. Thank God it wasn't more than, you know, the car that he took, and he's been apprehended. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Diola, say bye.